Fat Gay Podcast, where we talk about the things that are weighing on our minds. I'm Dan Oliverio, author, public speaker, and Chubby Chaser. And today, I'm a fuchsia boy. We were talking about colors earlier, and I just feel fuchsia today. I leave it to you, dear listener. What color is fuchsia? Is it the one you can see or the one you imagine you see?
I'm Trevor Keyson. I'm a super chub, and today I'm a second episode iced coffee boy. It's all vibes. It's a little coffee house podcast land, and I got my ice and my little metal straw.
He's percolating.
Okay, I'm going to combine these two. Wait for this.
Oh, God.
Hi, I'm Michael Willer. I'm a Chubby Chaser, and today I am a cornflower blue boy, which is one of the other colors we were talking about this because I am blue/sad because I am not getting to have the iced coffee that Trevor's having because I'm going to take a nap after this.
Weekly.
And the caffeine is not good for me. It's sad.
Hey there, my name's Don. I'm a big chubby guy living here in sunny Hollywood, and today I am mauve with pride over Dan. I want us to publicly acknowledge how far you've come. Where when the intro music would come in, you would just be staring in terror, and everyone else go like, "When do I start talking? When do I start talking? When do I start talking?" And we would have to like frantically signal you to when you would need to begin. You don't need that anymore.
Don, I'll do you one better. I remember when it was the case for everyone, and I had to cue you guys for when to start talking.
I just like seeing Michael point.
Well, sometimes he does it with his finger.
Yes. He's only got those 21 digits. So we'd like to say thank you to our patrons and our partners. Remember, you can save 50% off your bearskin order with the promo code BigFatGayPod. And you can also use our link to Big Fig to get a substantial discount on a mattress and a plus-sized person mattress using the Big Fig link on our website. Also, remember, we have a thriving Discord where people are talking about all sorts of things on all sorts of channels. And of course, you can sign up on our website for our newsletter, which comes out about once a month. Depends when I actually do it. And it has all sorts of, it's sort of a way to keep in touch, a way to like, oh, did I see that episode? And interact a little bit with us at a slower pace.
Yeah, it's a good roundup, a low-key roundup. All right, breezing through, go. We've got big second episode of the day energy right now.
Go!
Just go.
The penguins are jumping out of the planes, top hats waving in the wind.
Dive.
No parachutes, just wingsuits. Top speed.
So Chrissy Metz from This Is Us is on a little press tour, and we have a story from Fox Rochester where she was interviewed by Courtney Tizzino about her new Lifetime movie, Faith in the Flames, the Nicole Jolly story, which is a true story of a nurse who fought for her town during the 2018 fires?
The Paradise, California.
Yeah, the Paradise, California fires in 2018.
Yeah.
And so she's in this new movie, which is, I like to see Chrissy Metz doing stuff, but it is this Lifetime faith-forward new series of movies, which, like, I don't know, I was raised Catholic, like, yay Jesus, I like my little like religious buddies.
I mean, can we stop using faith as the euphemism for Christian?
No.
White Christian?
No.
By faith we mean white Christian.
Yeah.
But so Chrissy Metz is on this press tour talking about this movie, talking about honoring the true story of this woman who fought for her town, but she's also...
And saved 100 people.
Yes, saved 100 people, but is also kind of like pitching, and it's unclear, but she's doing this press tour, and
Chrissy
there's
Metz,
a lot of coverage of her talking about wanting to do a Lifetime movie about her life and basically being, plus size growing up
a fat girl.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in that than the faith-based look at the heroic nurse.
Yeah, I am too. And so one thing we were just talking about, we were kind of trying to figure it out because she doesn't really say like where in the process the movie is. Yeah. And it kind of seems like, and I'm all for this, but it kind of seems like she's leveraging her position as kind of their leading lady, like their go-to. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And so it kind of feels like she's leveraging that position to just sort of announce that she wants to do this. She wants to make this movie to gather interest, to kind of apply pressure to Lifetime to make it happen.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Like, yeah.
Well, and how else you can do it? Because the best way to end up in a pitch room is to pitch it outside the pitch room and have everybody have to listen to it. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Now, we've seen a couple other teen-oriented fat shows in the past, right? And most of them haven't done very well.
Well, but this would be different. This would be focusing, number one, on a celebrity.
Okay.
So it's not the plot of some some desperate fat girl trying to get to prom. It is the plot of Chrissy Metz growing up fat and becoming a major television star.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's got some clout and she's throwing it around.
Yeah.
So what I appreciate with the Nicole Jolly story, the Faith in the Flames movie, is Nicole Jolly is just like, I feel like they could have easily been like, oh, well, she's not that fat. We'll just cast a thin actress and no one will say anything. And I like that they actually cast a fat actress and like an actress larger than the real person, because I feel like you never see.
It's usually the other way.
Yeah,
like
you
usually,
never see that direction.
And didn't do a fat suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that they actually like did not just thin wash the character. I feel like so often when there are real people being portrayed and they cast an actor who is like kind of fat, I'm like, is this just like the best actor? Was this person actually fat? It's just such an interesting thing. I'm curious, Don, if you have any feelings about like when they do these kind of like real life ripped from the headlines things that aren't necessarily major historical figures.
Yeah, I want you to get someone in the ballpark that looks somewhat like them. But in general, I'm not horrified if they're a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller.
I really would have liked to have seen what Scarlett Johansson would do with this role.
You can only do that. You can only do that with Asian characters.
Oh, okay.
No, I think it's, it's not the kind of movie I think any of us would sit down and watch. And so I think there's an element of like, we're kind of trying to applaud Chrissy Metz for getting work and being great, but also like wouldn't watch the movie. But Trevor's kind of pointing out like they chose to cast her. Yeah. Like Lifetime didn't have to do that. They could have done it any other number of ways.
Well, and I suspect Chrissy Metz had something to do with driving this project. And I don't think there was a casting call and they said, what about that fat girl from This Is Us?
I'm kind of talking out of my butt because I don't have any solid statistics I'm looking at. Looking at the way she's been cast since This Is Us, I'd guess that she's pulling in a pretty solid demographic of viewers.
Exactly.
It's working. It's
Yeah.
not an accident by any stretch.
I'm just saying, I think she's somewhere behind this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We were also talking about Chrissy Metz was in the 2019 movie Breakthrough, which is the true story of a mother whose son fell through the icy lake and is declared dead, but kind of overcomes this through prayer and faith, and he recovers and blah, blah, blah. But very much these like faith forward, quote unquote, movies. It's her kind of new wheelhouse. And I like that she is maybe leveraging her success in this and also just like her name recognition to maybe do something other than that. Because I don't really think she's been like, faith is a major part of my life. Like Melissa Joan Hart has kind of transitioned to doing more Christian movies and is very much vocal about like, well, this is like very important to me and this is my thing. But I like that she's doing these movies, but also like, hey, what if we did a movie about me and how amazing I am in my life story?
I would love to see that happen. I think that would be...
Get you that cheddar, girl. If no one else is making up those plans for you, you go make them.
No, but I think it's really important because we haven't seen that. We've seen this sort of Cinderella-ish Lifetime movie of small town girl that does well. We've seen that, but I think it's completely different when A, it's a fat woman, and B, like I would assume that if Chrissy Metz is at the heart of this, they're not going to pull the punches on what happened growing up fat.
Yeah.
And I think that is also very important to see from an authentic way, as opposed to a bunch of writers who are like, okay, so what are some really awful ways we can make this fat kid suffer?
Yeah. Congrats, Chrissy Metz. And like, you keep doing this press tour, you keep pushing this movie and make people be asking Lifetime, like, so what about this Chrissy Metz movie? When are you releasing this? When are we going to see that? Maybe I'll put on my little press hat and be like, hello, Lifetime. Trevor Keys on here from the Big Fat Gay Podcast. When is this new Chrissy Metz picture coming out? That people want to know.
Honey, get off my shoulders. I need the trench coat back.
Well, speaking of other movies with fat main characters,
Fat Eagle spotted over Los Angeles.
Fat Watch 2025.
I always go to that like Sunday, announcer voice. We have an article from Us Weekly written by Carlos Asenko, which is really cool. It was a little hard for me to parse just the layout because I think it was meant to be read like in magazine form.
Yeah.
But talking to the show Too Much star Megan Stelter about diverse body representation, we're talking about fatness. We're also talking about other disabilities and just sort of body differences. And it's a really great sort of collection of interviews with Megan Stalter, also Bridget Everett, and April Lockhart, who is a fashion designer who has a limb difference, who started basically a trend called normalizing disabled fashion girlies. And between the three of them, we have these really interesting takes on representation where, you know, as they interviewed Tigress Osborne, sort of pointing out, like, it's not enough to just sort of throw a fat person in something and have them play another stereotype or have them play another whatever. It's like, these are people playing roles who have, like, or they're actual characters. They're actually tackling real issues. And this is just more of what we've been asking for, right?
And the issue isn't, oh, of course I need to lose weight.
Yeah, it's like starting it off, talking to Megan Stalter, who plays Jessica Salmon in Lena Dunham's show Too Much, which is like a rom-com. She gets dumped and moves to England and meets a guy. And there's a moment in the show that they described where he's telling her, like, don't be nervous. Like, curves are beautiful. You've got a big, beautiful ass. And Megan's talking about how, like, she feels lucky that she feels that way about herself. Like, the character is that way, and she gets to mirror her character, which is just, like, super refreshing.
So she has been blowing up, and she's also on Hacks, and I didn't realize she's the high gay Instagram video making fun of corporations for pride.
Hi, gay. Happy Pride Month. We are sashaying away with deals. We've been making butter since 1945, and we've been accepting all people since the last 4 months.
We'll put it in because it's she's so funny, and all of these different things I've seen her doing came together when I read this article of, like, oh my God, she has been around, and seeing her go from, like, high gay to starring in this Netflix show.
Oh, you mean the phrase high gay?
Yeah. Like,
I thought that was like a political position.
No.
I was going like high elf, wood elf,
Exactly,
like high
right.
gay, wood gay.
Yeah.
She went on the Colbert Show, and she was making fun of kind of like when a female celebrity has to go on a late night show to promote herself, where she had this giant blonde wig that is basically as, like, long as she is tall, and this kind of, like, red, white, and blue tube top with her face and name on it. It's very funny. I'll link to all these things. And, like, she's just so fucking funny. And it just, I don't know, was a crystallization moment of seeing, like, I am so glad, because I feel like so many people don't know that maybe it's the same person.
Oh.
Like you didn't.
Yeah. Getting to see, like, oh my God, there's a full arc to the high gay girl.
This is the culmination of all of her high gay work.
Our listeners are very divided in knowing this, and Dan and Don's thing of just, like, I have no idea. Like, what is he talking about?
I still can't go, oh, it's the phrase.
The only thing I'm familiar with her with is Hacks. And I will say in Hacks, she's going toe to toe with heavy hitters of comedy and holding her own. So more power to her.
But the rest of the article, I think, is just addressing a lot of those things. Some highlights that I appreciated. It's the writer of the article tackles the idea of, like, when you have representation, but people don't like the kind of representation it is because the character is kind of despicable. It's like, well, we hate that the fat character played a monster.
Tiny reindeer.
Yeah. But then it's
Baby
like,
reindeer.
Baby reindeer, right.
But, like, that actor did a fantastic job, and, like, they don't have to be playing a good person to have an effective role in the movie or show. Like, it's that weird thing of, like, can't we just appreciate the performance even if the representation of fatness feels slimy?
Yes, but, you know, it harkens back to the old days where, like, hey, there's a gay character on TV. Yeah, he's a serial murderer, and it's called Cruising, you know.
But there are stages. There are stages to every minority group coming through. I remember when True Blood came out. I can't remember the name of the character. He was the gay character, worked in the kitchen. Lafayette, right? To me, Lafayette was a really pivotal, important gay character.
Absolutely right.
Because he was morally gray, right? He wasn't the villain. He wasn't a hero. That was actually a new thing for me at the time.
No, and he was gender bending. Like, you couldn't tell, like, what gender is he trying to be?
Yeah.
You know,
but when we move out of the territory of the minority being this one thing, whether it's the long-suffering hero or the despicable villain of every flavor, that's when you start getting to be a human being. I think it's a good sign.
Well, I think that's what she was talking about specifically was roles that were leaving behind that trope to play complex characters. And it's just that complex character isn't necessarily an aspirational character. And so, the pushback of like, well, but we want aspirationally good people played by fat people. It's like, well, okay, that's fine. But also we can still appreciate a complex, well-written role, even if the person themselves is kind of like wicked or
a great villain can be just as rewarding to watch.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, and far more
much
rewarding to play.
From. Oh yeah, definitely more fun.
As an
Heroes
actor.
are dull as dishwater to play.
Yeah. Anyway, so this article I think is just a very, very visible aggregation, primarily focusing on fat representation, but also just like body diversity in movies and shows and things. And there's some great sort of snippets from the interviews that are really worth checking out. We didn't cover all of it because it's too much to say, but highly recommend giving it a read. And thank you to the writer, Carla Sisenko.
So for the main topic today, I wanted to call back to something I said really kind of briefly on our Vegas panel, which was I wanted to encourage everybody to check in with yourself every once in a while as you're getting older and just check in that you're still sort of satisfying the needs you currently have and that you're not sort of chasing yesterday's flavors. As we get older, I think it's normal for our tastes to change, whether that is for food or clothing or men. It's not necessarily that we learn we were wrong and that flavor that we liked before is not the right thing for us. It's just as we get older, we either crave more diversity. We've been exposed to new things we didn't consider when we were younger. But I think a lot of us can get trapped into this cycle of, no, I like chocolate. I'm not going to have vanilla ice cream. I know I like chocolate. Why would I try vanilla again? So as you've gotten older, have you noticed any particular preferences changing? So for example, for myself, when I was in my 20s, I think the top of my age range was like in their 40s, right? And now I think the oldest person I'm seeing right now is 60. And I'm still finding them very attractive, right? My tastes for my age range have changed as I've gotten older. Yeah, I think that's normal. I think my openness to different body shapes has changed and diversified as I've gotten older too. So I'm curious, have you all had that same experience?
Yeah, I think I've had the very classic, well, maybe not classic, but I know Trevor and I are maybe in a similar boat where like, you're in your late teens, early 20s, and like people your age are kind of intolerable and like they're just like not what you're about. Like you're looking to older, and we've talked about like mentorship, and I think there's an element of that in there, just like wanting to figure things out and learn from somebody who's more experienced. So that was definitely the case for me. Not as like a matter of conscious choice, but just like that just was the case. Like in my 20s, I was looking much, much older as far as like people I was interested in. And the way I described it was like, it wasn't a requirement, but it wasn't something I was closed off to either. It was something that I was just open to. But I think this like, it's not an accident. That was also like the people I was picking were typically like at least 10 years older.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older, I'm 35 now. It's interesting to see that now my partner is for 2 months out of every year is the same age as I am. So I think that's just an interesting like difference to watch happen. I've also definitely had like the body. It's not so much that my attraction changed. It's that I wasn't seeking out.
No, it's a big deal. And because I see this a lot in a lot of the coaching I do.
Yeah.
It's that what you used to be like, oh, I would never like that, or, oh, I shouldn't like that. A lot of times it shouldn't. Once you drop that, a whole new area opens up for you. Another variation of that is, like let's say someone likes masculinity. And so, well, if I like masculinity, I know that, I like cops, Navy guys, and whatever, construction workers, whatever. And then you realize, actually, yeah, I still like masculinity, but what changed is you realize you can find that many other places.
Yeah.
So that it's not that what you found desirable changed, it's that how you perceived the source of that changed. And I think that happens to a lot.
Yeah, I think it comes with like cutting down like prejudices.
Yes.
All of the assumptions you make about people for all the stupid reasons we do that. The more experience you get, the more you can kind of cut through that. And so I definitely had that experience like going into my late 20s, early 30s. Yeah.
I mean, I have found, because I was kind of the same as Michael, like I don't want anyone my age or certainly not younger. But now that I'm older, I found like, because I have pushed into a new age bracket, I actually don't mind younger than me because that's still older than I like would date when I was like in college, when I was like 19.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what you guys are saying really is that you used to only date older guys, but now all the older guys are your age.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
Well,
that's.
I think I'm more in tune with something Michael was saying, where rather than the attributes I thought I was chasing before, meaning age and body attribute, right? Now it's more like I search for a streak of active kindness in a person, right? Not just someone who's nice. Anyone can be fucking nice. Somebody who puts the energy into being kind, right? That's a descriptor to them. That now cuts across every age group. That cuts more across every body type, right? Yeah. Once I recognized that that was the trait, that made dating outside the specific groups I designated much easier.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't think my thing is quite that because it's not really specifically kindness, but I'm finding that I am able, I think, to communicate things more directly and just be like, hey, this is all I'm about. Yada, da, 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 da. And guys are like, oh, that sounds really fun.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think, easier to negotiate and navigate. And I'm just, I don't know, have more experience doing
I think there's definitely something that comes with age is learning what you want and learning to ask for what you want.
Yeah.
Which are two different skills.
I can also kind of sell what you want because
yes.
put it in a way that is kind of like enticing.
Yeah. Rather than saying, I don't want to do any of that other stuff, you say, I really, really, really want to do this. I think you'd like it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a big transition point for me, was realizing that what I wanted was no longer something I had to trade to get. It was something I had to find other people to participate with.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Wow. That's amazing. I think for me, it's a little the opposite. I think for a lot of us, as we get older, we actually get much more specific in whom we're attracted to. And this is often the case where, I used to like everything on the buffet, but now that I've been to 50 buffets, I don't really love everything on the buffet. There's really only 6 things on the buffet that I have patience for. And I think for a lot of older guys like myself, it's not just that you learn what you like. You have a larger intolerance for things that you don't love. And I compare this oftentimes with like how people experience movies. Like when you're 15, you'll see anything. I mean, even if you don't want to see it, you'll see it. Yeah. And then when you're 25, it's like your friends are going, you're like, okay, I'll see it. But there are some movies you're like, I'm not going to see that. You do that without me. But by the time you're 55, you're like, I'm not going to that unless it's spectacular.
It's funny. So an example of kind of that I feel like I've noticed. So I've been like cycling through different apps, like pre-Bigger Vegas, during Bigger Vegas, and post-Bigger Vegas. And I've been on Scruff, which I generally don't use, especially because like their weight caps at 400. Like when Grindr has a higher weight limit for your profile.
It does.
But
It really does.
Yeah, when the Twink app has a higher weight cap than the Bear app.
But they have a feature called a match stack, which is kind of like, I think what Tinder is, where like you can swipe left, swipe right, or like swipe down if you're like, oh, ask me again later. And I have found I am not going to swipe right on someone I'm not really interested in. In the past, I've been like, oh, but like he's cute. And like, I don't have anything to work with. And he says at the bottom, but like he's handsome. So I should swipe right. Like, I'm like, nope. I am far more like, I don't know, more militant. And I feel like in a constructive way.
I know this from when I used to do casting. You have your yes pile, your no pile, and your maybe pile. And when you start out, the maybe pile is enormous.
Yeah.
And you're like, your no pile is okay. You got their definite no's, and the yes pile has like two, has a few, and your maybe pile is like, you might as well just go for the whole stack again.
But that comes with experience.
Absolutely.
Like, as you start to learn in terms of casting, as you start to learn like what you are looking for and not looking for in a performance, in terms of like hookups, you are realizing, oh, when I hook up with this person who is a kind of sort of maybe, it doesn't really go well, and it's not an experience I want to replicate, that becomes a no. That just naturally.
But when you're young, you'll see any movie that comes out.
Yeah, just to test it out.
I would say a factor of it is, honestly, and I'm not just talking sexually, I'm talking about anything that I have a taste for, I have tried to engage in on my own terms. And by 52, by my current age, I know how to engage with everything I like in the way I like to do it. Yeah. Right. If you are not additive to that experience, why am I inviting you along? Right?
Yeah. Well, and people might think that if that is closed or closed off, it's like, no, it's a time saver for everybody. Because if you're not willing to be swayed because you've been there and done that a lot, don't waste other people's time.
Yeah, I would even submit that anyone who's pushing back against that is trying to see you as something that you're not. They're kind of pasting over who you are because they have some image of you that is probably not accurate.
But I'm going to push back against myself here. In my advanced point of experience in life, I need to remember that I don't know everything, and to keep experimenting with new things and going out with new stuff and new people, right? It's so easy to decide I know what's best and who's best on these apps. So I like to go out with someone from the maybe pile every once in a while to keep myself on my toes.
So at Bigger Vegas, the way that I approached it was I want to try and just say yes to like showing up to things.
Yeah.
Like I the first time around, I really didn't do that much. And so in that sense, it was a lot of like, I don't know how I'm going to enjoy this necessarily. Like, I don't know the way it'll happen, but I want to walk through the door. And then I now know, like, next Bigger Vegas, there's a whole bunch of stuff now that's an easy yes. I can do that knowing I'm looking forward to something because I tried it and I got that experience.
Well, that's what you're saying, having a bank of experience to draw from now.
Yeah.
And let me just offer up, like, and I'm not just talking sexually, I find the process of figuring out how to enjoy something can in of itself be enjoyable. The figuring it out, the mystery of the confusion in that early encounter, you will never get to encounter that again. So enjoy it.
But I think there is a gut feeling.
Thank you.
Because I am all about the maybe. I'm like, oh, that actually was good. But I think there is very much a instinctual lizard brain where you're like, I really don't think. Like, I have fucked myself by being like, now, come on, Trevor, you should be open-minded. And then I end up then later just smush the little angel that told me to do that with my thumb. But I am all about the maybe, but I think there is also a very gut feeling that you can have where you're like, nope.
That's mile 3 of every nature walk I've ever been on.
Have I already talked about the researcher that was looking into like second guessing yourself? I feel like it's come up in conversation. I don't remember if it was on the episode or not. The short version is a researcher who was studying how penalty kick results work in soccer, where somebody takes an open shot at the goal and the goalkeeper has to try and save it. It's a lot of mind games. It's which way is he going to go? Can you trick him? But they studied people's responses in terms of like, if we present like literally a video playback of something happening, they say, what would you do next? And then they say, well, I would do this. This is the best option. Then they go back and say, okay, well, disregarding that, what's your next best option? And every single time the results got worse and worse and worse. Like the next best thought was a worse result, meaning first thought, best thought, i.e. your gut is right and listening to it is actually valuable. If you're getting that kind of like pit of your stomach or whatever you want to call it, like that sort of instinct that's kind of clawing at your head saying like, maybe not, or like, no, be careful, like any of that, like listen to it. It is like provably better.
Yeah, there's two things that I look at, because you also have the people who like, oh, I always pick wrong. And then sometimes I say, well, that's because you only notice when you pick wrong. You delete all the times you picked right, the first time. But I think there's two things. One, by the time you're old enough to listen to us now, you have a track record, you have an experience of, are you the type of person who often gets happily surprised? Let's say more than 50% of the time. Or if you're the type of person where like, no, every time I, do that, it goes badly, which I think has more to do with shoulding oneself. I know that if I should myself, I should go to this thing, that is the worst place to operate from.
Yeah.
And I never enjoy it. On the other hand, what you're saying, Don, is like, oh, that might be fun. I don't know. I just have some considerations. Well, maybe work out your considerations and then you can go. I think it's that idea of I should go is not going to go well, or like, oh, okay, but I'm going to really try. Like Trevor, I've seen you do this a lot. Like, okay, it's probably going to be terrible, but I'm just going to try it anyway.
Yeah.
And like, guess what? It's really terrible.
So I get what you mean. And that's like, how do you distinguish that for somebody? Like say me pre this Bigger Vegas, where it was like, well, I want to try experiencing more things. Like said another way, I should experience more things.
Yeah, but it wasn't said that way. See, that's different. You actually had a desire. You had a desire that wanted to be fulfilled, as opposed to an idea that you felt obligated to engage with. It's not obligation. It was exploration.
Right.
And this is the worst. I should do it because I should want to be better.
right now, or I should do it so that I can tell people about the experiences I had, or
Yes.
I should do it so that I can, tell myself that it was worth the money, or whatever.
So my analogy for academia is, maybe I don't want to sign up for a 4-credit world history course that is a survey of like the beginning of time to 1650.
You could audit a class.
You could audit it, right? Mm-hmm. So you drop by when you want, you get what you want. If you realize you're not going, you stop going. Mm-hmm. And you can kind of do that in dating to the extent that somebody hits you up online and you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to make a date with this person. Sounds like a lot of investment, especially if there's a drive involved. And so you're like, hey, why don't we chat on the phone? Hey, why don't we meet for coffee? Mm-hmm. And like, I find this is definitely the case. I will meet almost anybody for coffee. Mm-hmm. Like if somebody's in the neighborhood, and by in the neighborhood, I mean within a few miles. And I'm like, you're interesting. I'm not horny for this, but you sound interesting. Why don't we have coffee? Because we're so close. Why wouldn't we? And even if it goes nowhere, I had a good time having coffee.
That's some extrovert talk right there.
Oh, yeah. But I don't know. As a Gemini who I alternate between introvert and extrovert, I find it's interesting. I'm realizing that with the should, because I fuck myself with should, because it changes it completely into something where it's like, I have to, like, it's an obligation. I have to do this. And the should changes. I feel like it removes any desire for me.
Yes, of course it would. Yeah.
And 2 weekends ago or whatever, when we went to Club Chub, because I always feel guilty about not going to Club Chub because it is something that is a labor of love. It's community. It's all these things.
And it's important.
But I will find myself in this thing like, well, I should go to Club Chub. And then it starts to morph into this thing where it's like, it's this big obstacle.
Oh, now you're dreading it. Yeah.
But after Bigger Vegas, and I was like, oh, no, like I want to be in community.
Oh, there you go.
I want. When it is a should for me, it removes all want because it is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to force myself into doing it when I could want to, but just
should saps the joy.
Yeah.
And what's funny about that particular incident, you were like, Club Chub comes up every month.
Yeah.
And we usually don't go because we're like, because it's a 40-minute drive for us.
Yeah.
At least. And then, I don't do so well with loud music. So anyway, but then Trevor out of nowhere is like, we should go to Club Chub today. Hey, let's go to Club Chub. I'm like, what? Who are you? And what have you done with Trevor Keys on? Where's the usual apathy I have for this and the ennui? And I was absolutely not in the mood for going. But I didn't tell him that.
I could kind of tell.
Well, my version of that was, really? So you want to go to Club Chub? Okay. I never said no. But I had a great time. Mostly because I wanted to make sure there's so few times that Trevor wants to go. I'm like, I am not dumping a bucket of water on this. And I had a great time, really great time. I think we both had surprisingly good. Surprisingly, because that's not how we think of it when we're not there. And I think it goes to your point, Dawn, of you might like it there. And the key, I think, is keep the stakes low. So that if you don't like it, you have an exit strategy. Lunch is great for that. You can have lunch with someone. You can have coffee for someone. There's not this evening hanging over your head. You can just show up. It's like, oh, great lunch. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. So that you can set something up later. Or that could be the end of it. And you get the experience. And there's not a lot. You want to keep investment low.
I will say, this is maybe off topic a little bit, but the crash after Bigger Vegas is real. Like the crash back into like real life. I just found myself, it was very much like what you said about like, oh, let's go to Club Chub. I was like, I want more. Like I want this every weekend. Like I don't necessarily want to party every weekend, but I want people like me around me all the time. And on that
set
level,
up your own weekly event in Las Vegas.
Monthly.
Yeah, there's no reason not to.
It might exist already. I don't know.
I need to look a little closer. I haven't heard about anything, but I don't know for sure. I have to dig. I definitely know there are like gay bars and other gay events and stuff, but I don't know about Chub specific. Yeah. And then it's like the whole like thing of like, is bear specific, Chub specific, or is it like?
It is if you bring enough Chubs along.
Yeah, true.
Do we have a tip for the day?
We do. So it is still Fat Liberation Month.
Happy Fat Liberation Month.
Yes. The party don't start until I walk in. In Your Fat Friend, the motion picture, is doing Hot Fat Summer, which is a month-long fundraiser for NAFA. And what they're doing is, so if you watch Your Fat Friend, the documentary on Jolt during the month of August, 20% of your ticket price goes towards NAFA, and you have the option to donate more of that.
Oh,
And you can see it on Jolt, like the cola?
Yes, the streaming site. So when you purchase a ticket during the month of August, it includes a invite to a virtual pool party with Aubrey Gordon and director Jeannie Finlay on Sunday, August 17th at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. UK. So it's a great way to see this documentary if you haven't already, and then you get to attend this virtual event, which
I wonder what a virtual pool party
Yeah,
is.
I am curious.
I'm curious what that means. I'm just kind of imagining like everyone in their pools, just like with their laptops.
I was
by the
thinking
side.
bathtub, but yeah.
I mean, however you want to do it. It's a virtual pool party. You do you.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great way to see a great documentary and support NAFA. Also get an invite to a virtual pool party. Don, do we have a bit?
We do have a bit. What I've got this time, we are going to play lightning round. Dan, me, what's a food you've come to love or hate that you started on the other side?
Brussels sprouts. I've come to love Brussels sprouts if there's enough balsamic vinegar and blue cheese to disguise the taste.
Fair enough. Trevor, what's a drink that you've come to love or hate?
Coffee.
Yep.
Sorry, coffee love.
Michael, what's a TV show or movie that you used to love but you've completely grown out of?
Fight Club.
Fight Club. All right. Dan, what's a song you used to love but just can't listen to anymore?
Oh, Jesus. I can think of a song I just can't stand to listen to, but I never liked it. You Light Up My Life.
Trevor, what's a piece of clothing you used to rock but have put aside?
Pants?
Cargo shorts.
Cargo shorts?
Yeah. Some cargo shorts.
Michael, what's a drink that you've come to love or hate that you felt the opposite way when you started?
I would say whiskey.
Really? Okay. Dan, what's a piece of clothing you used to rock but have put aside?
Suspenders.
Oh, look at you. Trevor, what's a food you started out loving or hating and now feel the opposite way?
Cabbage, maybe? I don't know. I'm all about cabbage now.
Oh, okay.
Really? Okay. That's a new one.
It's my Polish roots.
This chunky roots.
And Michael, what is a song you loved but just can't listen to anymore?
I used to be obsessed with, I think it's Wake Me Up.
Evanescence.
By
Wake me
Evanescence.
up inside.
Yeah, I was such
Oh, I was thinking
kid.
Wham. I'm like, how can
Before I go.
Wake me up before I
That's
go,
what I thought of. Yeah.
No, I still like the song. No, it's
Wake me up inside.
yeah, Evanescence. I was such a
Animated
moody teenager.
Animated music video.
Classic.
No, I
Emo boy.
can't. It does something. Yeah, I can't.
Can't wake up.
All right, Trevor, if our listener is also a closet Evanescence fan, where could they come to tell us about their passion?
Send us your AMVs to at Big Fat Gay Pod on Instagram or Blue Sky. We're on Facebook as the Big Fat Gay Podcast. Leave us 5 stars there or a review on your preferred podcast platform. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/BigFatGayPod. See the articles we talked about at www.bigfatgaypod.com, baby. Well, maybe you finished editing your Big Fat Gay Podcast.amv to Evanescence. You're on the Patreon. You download all the videos. You cut in some stuff from the live episode that's on there. And you're hitting play to see your masterpiece. But Michael pops up.
Watch out!